Hello everyone, moi with this shit. Yeah, baby, me. To say the me kind, my son's about being me, but can't social issues. And the social issue, I mean, Baba can't want them. I did be a friend of bro for some racism. There's a lot going on in the world right now pertaining to this topic. And I realized that I couldn't just sit down and not say anything. I realized I needed to add my voice to the crowd and also express a few feelings that I have and a few things that I have to say. First of all, to George Floyd's family, my condolences. To everybody in the Black community, my condolences. To Breonna Taylor's family, who's from my state, Kentucky, I'm sorry. I know me saying this cannot bring your child back, cannot bring your beautiful baby girl back, but I am sorry. Afi, me pese me ka inyoma kakano so akahu. I realize that people feel like sometimes it's only the Black community stepping out and fighting this fight. And mostly people feel like, okay, this isn't an issue, or some people say this has been over exaggerated. Let me tell you, it hasn't been. This is a very serious issue. Are on board? It's not enough not to be a racist. You have to be an anti-racist. Me being somebody who's married to a Black man or an African, Ghanaian to be precise, I can't just sit here and watch as this goes on. And let me tell you people, for those of you who are sitting there and saying that racism isn't an issue, it is. I have seen it happen. Where my husband was born, where he should be totally accepted, it happens. When you go into stores and foreigners get treated better because they have more money than Ghanaians, it's wrong. And you know what that is? That, my friend, is racism at its best. When a foreigner decides to deal with me instead of my husband because, I don't know, for whatever reason, even though he's much more well-versed in his field, my friend, that is not right. It is wrong. When somebody goes out of their house and worries that the police will stop them and has to worry that they will be suspected of a crime even when they haven't done anything wrong. It's wrong. And it's about time that people step in and say something. My children are mixed race. My children deserve better. And say, me mana omudre say, ebia omubusiafo white are against them or something. It's about time that parents decide whether their daughter wants to marry a Black man, white, yellow, or green. It's all right. I went through this. And that, my friend, is what we need to teach our children. When your children go to bed at night, are they going to wake up, and when they go to class, when they go to school and they see their Black schoolmates, are they going to love them equally? What are you teaching them? Are you teaching them to love my children even though they're not the same color? It's about time. The time is up. Black lives matter. Yes, all lives matter. But you know what? Everyone's lives matter, yes. But when you don't stand up for somebody because of their color, your life doesn't matter as well. Because when everyone isn't at peace, when everyone doesn't love each other, we don't have unity. United we stand, divided we fall. And let me tell you, there are more people and so many, should I say, sources or forces, so many forces that don't want everybody united together. But when we come together and we fight this fight, it's not just a white fight. It's a fight for humanity. And let me tell you, when you don't stand up against police brutality, your family will be next. It doesn't stop with color. When you don't stand up and you don't fight for people, the minority, let me tell you, it's you are coming next. I won't say that I have experienced racism, but I have experienced things in my life that help me to understand what Black people go through. My most recent issue is when my husband and I were on our way home and we stopped at a gas station, and there's a perception say if you are white, you are carrying corona in this country. So we pull up to the gas station. The person assumed that I did not understand the language they were speaking because white people don't bother to learn the language when they come to this country as a general rule, but I learned. So we pull up to the gas station and the woman asked my husband, she said, in the language, which means, are you not afraid? Which meant, what she was trying to say is, why aren't you afraid that this white woman is going to give you corona? And he pretended as if he didn't know what she meant because he was giving her the benefit of the doubt. But she went on, and I say, I say, I didn't meaning, aren't you afraid? And he said, why should I be afraid of? What should I be afraid of? It went to the extent that the other attendant at the other gas pump came over and she said, what's going on? He said, what's going on? And she said, Nabi Bisane say, I didn't know, which means I was asking the customer, why isn't he afraid? And he said, because, are you talking about because of corona? He said it in English to where I could understand. And she said, yes. And my husband asked her, he said, so if you go to the US or if you go to Europe and somebody treats you the same way that you are treating my wife, you will say it's racism. And that is what we are working against. This is not just a black fight. I know that there are white people that are fighting against equal rights, that are fighting against people giving up racism. But you know what? I am standing up today and I am telling you that I am standing up. This is my fight too. And I'm begging you, please join this fight. Please teach your children not to be racist against Asians, not to be racist against blacks, not to be racist against anybody. Racism is wrong and it's about time that it ends in society. I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you to realize that yes, all lives do matter. But right now, what we are focusing on is black lives. They do matter. It's time that racism ends. It's time that my children be comfortable with black or whites. And I'm not saying that my children have to be worried about my family, but I'm just using it as an example because there have been instances that my children have faced racism in Africa. And if they're facing it in Africa, I wonder how it would be outside in a Western world. Anyway, this is something that's been on my heart for a week or more now, and I wanted to say something. And I hope that you understand me. I hope that it wasn't just rambling. Ghana for say mumbe educating crofo. Na mususo ahoho ba muya de say mubejinatum. By instance and taking another step to understand each other no matter their race or color. Especially right now, some people are going through stigmatization all over the world. Asians are going through stigmatization in Western countries because they think they're carrying corona. Here it's happening. Oh, Ghana has a crowd from corona. Let's stop all this. Let's just love each other. Come together as a human race. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. Anyway, I'm out.